Hey there, everyone. Today, I wanted to share a perspective that came to me in my morning meditation. And it was this idea of there's always more. And I remembered this idea that this group, channeled by Sarah Land and the council, mentioned once. It was this idea of galore, galore, there's always more. And as I journaled about it in the morning, the idea that came to me was that there's always more abundance, there's always more money, there's always more opportunities, there's always more things to experience, there's always more health, levels of health that we can experience. Like there's always more that we can experience on so many different levels. And that really gave me a different perspective on a lot of things in my life, especially the things that you think, well, maybe that might not turn out exactly how I would have liked. But you think, well, even in the worst case scenario, there's always more, right? And I thought about that because it's like sometimes we think, oh, I want a lot of money, or I want to have, a perfectly healthy body. So then that's it. I don't have to worry about it anything anymore. No, but if you think about it, even if you reach a certain level of something, whether it's abundance, love, connection, health, I mean, there's always more that you can grow into. And I just wanted to ask Spirit about whether it is a good affirmation, a good vibration to be in during the day, this idea of there's always more. And if so, why, and how we can maintain ourselves in that vibration. And I've just had this feeling all day of excitement. It's if something wants to come through me. And it's like I have this feeling, it's like you're at school and there are so many subjects, and most of the subjects are okay, but they're a little bit boring. But you have one subject that you really like, that you really, really enjoy it, and you absolutely love it. And because you've got the chance to do the subject, you're like super excited. Well, that's the feeling I get today, that like they're really wanting to talk about this because like expansion is their like favorite topic, and this idea of focusing on moving into more uh, really lights them up for some reason. I don't know, but that's what I felt the whole day. So I've been really excited to see what comes through about this concept of, galore, galore, there's always more. And seeing how, whether it's a good idea for us to tap into that emotion, which I assume it is, but if it is, how, why is it a good idea, and how can we stay in that vibration for longer periods of time so that we can attract and reflect back to us more of all of the good things in life, right? So yeah, let's see what comes through. I'm really excited for this one because I have this feeling that for some reason they really wanted to communicate something interesting about that today. So yeah, let's see what comes through. Greetings, dear one. We are so glad that you've made time for us, and as always, we're happy to answer any questions you may have. Indeed, this idea of more is something that is really exciting. It's exciting for us, it's exciting for you, and it's the essence of expansion, the essence of what the one or source really taps into, because it is always looking to expand. That's what you all represent on an individual level, because with your experiences, with your perspective, with your past and what you have lived, you contribute to that expansion because you're contributing to all there is. With everything that you've lived, you are living and you will live. So when you tap into this idea of there always being more of the good things, because in essence, there's more joy, more excitement, more love, more happiness. When you tap into that, you're tapping into a well which Source taps into, because that's what Source looks to. Through you, it looks to expand, it looks to create new experiences, it looks to experience itself, experience its surrounding, experience others. It looks to create through you and through everything that you desire and that you move towards. So, this energy of more, of expansion, is really something that helps to move you forward. It's so important to help to move you forward because it's an energy that takes you away from entangling with any issues, problems that you might perceive in your current environment, and keeps you moving into an energy of expansion. And in that energy of expansion, you disentangle and detach from situations, people, circumstances that don't serve you and don't serve this expansion. Because expansion and fear don't really go together. Expansion is the opposite to fear because fear is a contraction and expansion is the exact opposite. So when you expand, you're moving into that energy of love, that energy of creation. And so this is really the essence of why you're here. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so exciting. Everything else that we do, everything else that we talk about is, well, not everything, but there are a lot of things which are about overcoming patterns and behaviors and learned actions that take you in the exact opposite direction to expansion, which keep you fearful and contracted and stuck in situations with people, situations with work, situations with your living environment and relationships. So that's all very fear based. And it's the exact opposite. So when you move into this idea of expansion and the absolute belief and the decision that there's always more, then there is always more. There is always more at so many different levels. You decide the levels at which you want more according to the focus you have at any given moment in your life. And you move in that direction, knowing that there is what you desire and there's always more of what you desire, and you can choose in which direction you want to go to experience these things, whether it's in the area of abundance or whether it's the area of love and relationships or whether it's the area of health. There's always more to experience. And when you move yourself into this energy, you not only disentangle with issues that are keeping you contracted and fearful and stuck, you attract source energy that moves you forward, that hurdles you forward into something bigger and greater. It's almost as if you harness this energy that is just wanting, desiring, absolutely loving this expansion. And it co creates with you, it works with you. It's almost as if you have a car and the car can't move, but this energy is almost as if it's giving that car it's the gasoline to move forward, to hurdle it forward and to turbocharge it forward. And the more you move into that energy, the more gasoline that's put into the motor and the more that you're moved forward into any direction that you choose. And Source is with you all the way because that's what it wants. That's what it wants. It wants expansion, it wants experience, and it wants to learn through you. It wants to expand through you. So, because that's what it wants, it's going to do everything in its power to support you in that. And if you believe that that is true, then that's just extra gasoline for that motor to keep moving you forward. So, in terms of how to tap into this amazing energy all day, every day, to keep you moving into greater levels of joy, greater levels of health, greater levels of happiness, of love, of connection, of abundance. In order to keep you there, stay in that. Stay in that energy of, well, this has happened, but maybe this is going to move me in a direction, in a good direction, that will bring me something more interesting to experience. This has happened, but it gives me a different perspective. Always look at the aspects of expansion and that sense of greater, something that's greater than you when you experience things during your day. And as you see them from that perspective of there's always more, even if something happens that's not quite what I would prefer, there's always more, there's always going to be something that's better. And having to take this direction might show me that something that's better, even though I can't see it right now. So if you stay in that positive attitude that there's always more, then there is always more. And in fact, there's always more. There's always more oxygen. You always have plenty of oxygen to breathe. There's always water to drink, you know. So there's always more. And the thing is that sometimes you all get stuck in this idea that you have to have a lot of something to feel safe. I have to have a lot of money. I have to have a lot of connections in order to feel that I'm taken care of and supported. But that's like saying you want to have all of the oxygen that you need to breathe for the rest of your life stocked up somewhere so that you can use it and you feel safe. Well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, because you take in oxygen as you need, and you know that there's always going to be more oxygen for you to breathe in, and you don't even think about it. You don't think, maybe tomorrow I won't be able to breathe in any air. I better stock up on some today. No, that's not exactly on your to-do list. Well, it should be the same for everything else. There's always more. You don't need to hoard things, money, or anything else, things, people. You don't need to, and you don't need to hold on and attach to objects, people, situations, because you can let them go and let them go in this flow, because you know that there's always more. There's always going to be something more interesting that's coming. It's what you do by being in this energy, in essence, is you overcome the fear of the unknown, which is your greatest fear. That's what keeps you stuck in a lot of different areas, in relationships, in work, in different endeavors that you undertake. You feel you don't know what there is beyond that particular project, and that keeps you stuck. But if you have this conviction, the belief and the absolute conviction that there's always more, that's always going to get better on so many different levels, then there's nothing to fear. And you can disentangle and detach from situations that are holding you back and keeping you contracted and in fear. So, as you adopt this attitude in your everyday lives, keep remembering it. Keep repeating to yourself, galore, galore, there's always more, there's always more, even if something negative comes up. And keep yourself in that vibration and detach from the things in your life and people in your life that may not be serving you. And don't be afraid, because there's always more. And with that, we are complete. Wow, that was beautiful. I had the feeling that they really wanted to say something about this idea and that they were so excited about it. So I hope that I have been able to convey that excitement. And I will certainly come back to this video and rewatch it whenever I forget about this affirmation. And if at any point in time life seems to bring me down and bring me under, I'll remember that there's always more. So, again, thank you for listening. If you like this content, please subscribe and share and give me a like, so it encourages me to produce more and continually improve and hopefully inspire you on your personal journeys. Thank you. Much love to you.